Well, we became friends.
Oh, I was not gonna say that. But
Because he
obviously,
doesn't remember anything past last week, that's why he keeps saying
that's
anything.
true. But obviously, becoming friends with Mouse is the best moment, right, guys? Right, right. That's why we're here today.
Oh my god, can
So,
they shut up for a second? Oh my god.
play to the crowd. Let me do it, okay? So,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final games today here at the Entities Campfire for week number 4. This is Loyalty versus Vicinal Last Fur here for Team Loyalty. Bronzy, my fault, Grease 0, V, and Slasher here against Last Fear's Doctor. Immediately starting things off with chase at Shack here. Slasher taking chase at the Shack, vaulting the window, but Last Fur is unfortunately not able to get the hit. And we actually see a wonderful head-on play coming in from Bronzy. Amazing stuff here. And continuing chase onto Slasher at this pretty strong 3-lane tile here. Slasher continuing chase to the middle of the map here. Wants to take chase to the top side of the map as the active generators are over by where Chase started and doing an amazing job. Just looks like we're going to be accepting our first tag here so that we can make the main building. Very strong loop here. And Lastfur doesn't seem too interested in committing for this chase here as we are afraid of these gens popping in the middle of the map. And we are rightfully so afraid because we see Bronzy and Gree Zero both. Oh no, Bronzy and V, my fault. Both doubling out this middle generator. Beautiful interruption of that generator, halting the progress just a little bit, and V just gonna be running away to the bus here. Looks like we want to actually commit to this chase here. We're actually seeing an interesting build. Corrupt Intervention, Sloppy Butcher, Pain Resonance, and Save the Best for last here. Save the Best for last, very strong perk on the Doctor. And unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing a tag here. V is able to win that 50-50. Beautiful stuff here from V as we're going to be continuing chase onto this, I believe, short wall. Jungle Gym, yep, short wall. And amazing, another pallet vault from V here. Great stuff coming in from V. Amazing looping as another gen pops in the distance here. We still have not gotten it down. Amazing stuff from Team Vicinal. Great generator efficiency as well as great chases. Forced to break the pallet is Last Fear. Continuing chase over towards the main building. Last still not gotten this tag onto VV. Now taking chase over to this filler pallet here. Doctor actually does not mind filler pallets, being able to play around them very well. But V showing his dominance of being able to loop chain loops together here. Main building window being exactly the position he wants. And I do not believe we're actually going to be able to see a tag here. No, V correctly predicting and check spotting the Doctor, making sure that we are not mind gaming. V continuing now chase towards a truck filler pallet here. We are shocking to make sure we do not drop this pallet. We can actually play around this. We have to make sure we do it effectively. It's going to be a while before this tag comes out, and V, it looks like we'll just be accepting this tag, but oh no, we're actually running to this 4-lane here, but I do not believe we actually make it as we're seeing a tag here coming in from V, heading back over to the top side of the map here. And now the question is, does Lastfur actually want to commit for this chase? And it looks like we actually do, dropping this filler pallet. Not much else to use. Has to kick this. No brutal strength to speak of. So no, V will not make the window actually, as we're going to be now going to the corner of the map here. Nothing else to use. V is going to be going down here, but at the cost of 2 generators popping, and we are probably going to be seeing one pop again in a minute. A very, very strong start for Team Vicinal here, as we're seeing 3 different gens being worked here. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Great team coordination, as well as amazing, amazing generator efficiency, as that was not even a Pain Resonance hook, so we might be seeing some very unlucky Pain Resonance spawns here from Last Fear. Continuing chase now over to the bottom side of the map. I do not believe that Last Fear wants to actually camp this, and if you're him, I agree with that choice, because you know, all the generators that we really care about are on this side of the map here, and that hook is not really in a place that we can afford to camp it. So getting a little bit of pressure here, kicking that generator, making sure we can apply just a little bit of regression. We want to now head back over to V. It looks like the rotation for the save came through here. V now going to be running towards the main building, and we have actually Bronzy maybe perhaps doing a bit of an escort mission here. And chase continuing now onto V. We want to continue this chase because we want to try to get this tunnel help. But here's the thing, right? 2 generators are about to pop, and Bronzy is here to help take a tag as well. However, it doesn't look like V wants it. V instead wants to play the strong filler palette, but because Bronzy is still here, Bronzy will just be taking a tag. Save the best for last applied to 1 generator remaining. Amazing generator efficiency coming in from Team Vicinal here. And we're going to be seeing another rotation of the generator that Bronzy was on here as chase continues on to V here. V still being our Pain Resonance hook as well. Amazing stuff here. Has to try to win this long wall pallet. Unfortunately, we have GreezeZero coming in to drop the pallet as well. Let's probably take a tag here for V. Amazing, amazing stuff. The next generator, you have to assume, is very, very close to popping. Adrenaline gonna activate as well. No, we were saving it actually. No adrenaline. Wondering why the 99 was happening, but it looks like we got the call to actually finish the generator. V now going to be taking it down to Bronzy, and the reason for this is because we want to make sure that we minimize the amount of hook stages that Last Fear is able to get from this game. Dropping the filler pallet, unfortunately GreezeZero losing a 50-50, causing a down onto GreezeZero. Now we have 2 slugs on the ground. You want to head over to where we see the gates being worked here. We see Slasher heading over to the shack. And can we actually make this window? Do we win this? No, Slasher is not going to be vaulting that window, unfortunately, for Last Fear here. And we might be seeing Last Fear going back to accept his hook stages. Picking up GreezeZero here. Doesn't like we have a flashlight save, so this will be a fresh hook. So very unfortunate stuff here that V did not prevent that. However, this is still a very, very good result here for Team Vicinal. V gets picked up here. And it looks like we might be seeing Team Vicinal accepting the fresh hook on GreezeZero and taking their 4 stages. You know, we have 2 injuries. 1 person is healthy. I don't really see a world in which that Vicinal wants to actually save this. And it looks like I'm exactly correct, as they're going to be taking their outs here. GreezeZero to be dying on hook. A 1K with 4 stages. Very, very good result here for Team Vicinal. 2 freshes as well. Vicinal on the killer side gonna have a bit of an easier result here, but Doctor, not one of those high tier killers, so this still might be something for Team Vicinal to work for. When we come back, we will see just how well they play into it. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second game here of set number 1 of Loyalty versus Vicinal here. We have Vamp this time on the Doctor against Shoal, Cohen, Last Fear, and Lavish here, taking chase onto Shoal on this very unfortunate pallet here. Shoal, unfortunately, taking a tag here, probably attempted to come get the stun onto Vamp here, but unfortunately just didn't work out and kind of devastated Shoal here. Now Shoal gonna continuing chase on the top side of the map here. This is absolutely a chase that you probably want to be taking if you are Vamp here, as we do see Last Fear coming in potentially for a body block hit here. This is a 1k for 2 freshes that we have to beat here if you are Vamp. So we're gonna definitely be seeing Loyalty here, gonna want to try to prevent it down as much as we possibly can, as we are seeing Last Fear coming in, taking a tag for Shoal here. 2 tags now on the map, and we're seeing a bit of a different build here. Corrupt Intervention and Pain Res, standard, but we're seeing Rapid Brutality, and this time no one escapes death, something that you expect here on the Doctor. And our first down onto Shoal. On this pallet too, do we actually have a save here? We do have a save coming in for Shoal. Amazing stuff here for Team Loyalty, playing into this win condition best they possibly can here. Shack pallet not going to be dropped, and we might be seeing another body block hit coming in. No, Shoal instead going to continue to play into Shack here, but Shoal is actually going to make the window as well, as a head-on from Last Fear coming in. Beautiful stuff here from Team Vicinal, or from Team Loyalty, apologies. Now playing back into this fun bus. Remember, Team Loyalty has a very difficult win condition to meet here, so they will be preventing this down at any means necessary, and they're doing an amazing job so far at doing so, as we're going to be seeing a tag coming in for Lavish here. And Rapid Brutality reactivating as well, so we're going to be catching up a little bit easier. Heading over to the top side of the map is Lavish, and it looks like we actually want to commit for that, as that is to where our gen spread is. We need it down very quickly. 1 generator has already popped, and we're going to be seeing another one popping very soon. And there it is, the reset onto Shoal. And Last Year are going to be coming in for this chase. Lavish now taking chase at main building, but isn't going to quite make the window. Cohen is here, however, to take the hit. A swing and a miss coming in from Vamp as well. Cohen playing in for this hit tag, and Team Loyalty is showing their dominance on these hit tags and this team performance here. Cohen now taking a tag. Every survivor injured except for Shoal. We're going to be seeing the reset from Last Fear coming in, but Shoal now wants to take a hit for Lavish here. Beautiful stuff coming in from Loyalty. We're just not seeing a down yet. And they are making sure that they're staying not only on top of their generators, but their hit tanks all at the same time. Amazing stuff from Team Loyalty, but it looks like we're finally going to be seeing a down. Now the question becomes, is there a head-on somewhere in this locker maybe? Is there a flashlight? No, there is not, and that means our first hook is going to be on to Cohen. Great stuff here from Team Loyalty, preventing this down by any means necessary, and we're seeing 2 people resetting on 1 gen from Last Fur now being operated. Now that you have this hook, you might be able to breathe a sigh of relief if you're Vamp, as, you know, because of all those hit tanks and because, you know, Team Vicinal or Team Loyalty is going to have to stay on top of their resets now, not a lot of gen progress is going to be coming in here, as we're seeing a vault of the pallet, which will result in Shoal taking a tag here. Amazing stuff here coming in from Vamp, as Vamp is now going to want to rotate back to hook, making sure the unhook does not come in. And if it does, Last Fear is injured, so it might be a trade, and if it's a trade, that might be something you might want to take if you are Vamp here, as we are now seeing chase continuing onto Cohen, wanting to go to the main building, but Vamp is going to successfully body block him very well. Amazing stuff here coming in from Vamp, as he is now forced back to play this TNL while shocking now, making sure he's not able to make the window, but he got the prompt to make the window just before the shock came in. Amazing stuff coming in from Vamp here, another shock as well, and that's going to mean another down. Cohen playing into this as much as he possibly can here, but by the nature of the Doctor, the TNL ball just isn't as strong for him. We're going to be seeing the second hook here coming in as well. Shoal on a generator that is about 75% progress here, so that was going to be popping very shortly. Last Fur on his own generator, about to hit 25% progress here. This is not a pain resonance, so you have to remember, no generator control will be happening here. But this is a hook where you want it to be. a 4-gen on the bottom side of the map here. More of a 3-gen, really, in truthfully, because that gen not the most protectable, as we are actually seeing Shoal now going to be set into Madness 3, meaning she is not going to be able to work her generator for a little bit. A little bit slowdown here for Vamp here. Amazing stuff. Amazing use of the power there. And that means Shoal is now going to be back on that generator, but being able to slow down that generator from popping as much as we possibly can here is going to give Vamp just a little bit extra pressure to keep camping this hook here, but that gen is going to pop. And Last Sphere now, 75% progress on his generator, so the generator efficiency hasn't halted. We do have to remember here... Oh no, this is devastating stuff for Team Loyalty, as the unhook is not going to be able to happen here. Now we just want to shock and shock and shock, make sure that no one else is coming in for the save, and make sure that Lavish is not able to get this unhook for free. Unfortunately, we do miss that one, but Lavish will not be getting this unhook for free here. Cohen will still be on this hook here. Lavish needs help from someone else as quickly as possible. Both the survivors are injured, meaning nothing can be done about it. Cohen is just going to die. 3 stages so far, 1 generator remaining. Lavish now taking chase, the corner of the map here, now taking a tag. Rapid Brutality activating, and the resets are coming through. There is no generator pressure anywhere on the map anymore. Trying to win our 50-50s, but unfortunately not able to win that one. However, because again, the nature of the Doctor, TNL walls just aren't as strong, and that's a down for Lavish. Getting this hook will mean the tie condition has been met. That is a 1K 4 stages with 2 freshes. Loyalty cannot afford for Lavish to go second hook here. They can't afford another hook. If another hook happens here, this set goes to Team Vicinal. Lavish now getting unhooked here. Very, very early unhook, as we're now seeing Lavish running away here. But Lavish doesn't make anything. Lavish, I don't think is going to make this pallet in time. No, actually does. Amazing, amazing stuff here from Lavish, and a down coming through as well. I believe that's going to be a pickup before we're able to make the pallet. Last Sphere is now going to have to try to play for this pallet save. Isn't quite going to be able to get it, and it's just accepting it. This set goes to Team Vicinal. Amazing stuff from Team Vicinal, showing their dominance on the Survivor side. Team Loyalty also showing their dominance on the Survivor side. They prevented the down as long as they possibly could have, playing into their win condition. It was a very, very tough win condition at that, but unfortunately, it just won't be enough to match Vicinal's score of 1K4. And right now, we are seeing 5 stages. At this point, Team Loyalty is going to be playing for the best possible result. They've already lost the set. Team Vicinal has taken it. So now it's just about generator progression, trying to get at least someone out the door here. But this 3-gen is going to make that very, very difficult. This is a very amazing 3-gen for Vamp here. Doctor can kind of pressure these generators from a bit farther away with his Static Blast. And being also able to apply Madness as a form of slowdown is going to give Vamp the edge here. We're just looking for maybe a rotation of somebody here. As we were shocking around rocks here. Amazing stuff here coming in from Shoal. Getting that unhook, stealthing it out very, very well here, as we want to now commit. I don't think Vamp really cares about protecting the generators at this point. Just because, you know, we do have the win met. We have, you know, won the game, the set, I mean. So it is okay, I think, to chase this. So we're going to be seeing a down onto Shoal now. Final generator is going to pop here, and I think the servers are no longer responding. Bit of an issue coming in here, everyone. So when we come back, I will address that, see if this is an internal error, a me error, or if something else has happened. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Entities Campfire here. We are on the Wrecker's Yard here playing some Spirit. That's right, Vamp on the Spirit, specifically heading to the 9 side of the map where we already see the presence of a survivor here, Tori, or Shoal as the Tori Kane here. Last Fear, Cohen, Shoal, and the Lavish here for the survivor side here as we are taking chase now over to the 10 side of the map here. We have a pallet here, but it doesn't look like we actually want to play it, as I believe the perk that Shoal is running is actually light-footed. No light-footed. I actually did not hear any footsteps there, so I was wondering if that perk was allowed or not, but I do not believe it actually is. We're seeing the kick onto Shaq here. Dragon's Grip now activated, as well as Eruption. We're also seeing Sloppy Butcher and Corrupt Intervention now. As a down onto Last Fur. Beautiful listening out from Vamp here. I've never seen anyone actually go on the hill before when they phase like that to actually listen for a survivor, but first time for everything. As we will now get a hook on the 3 side of the map here, as we are seeing a bit of a 3-gen here, maybe even a 4-gen that Vamp wants to maybe protect here, hooking inside of the loop. And very good stuff. Now, I want to address what happened last game for those of you who may not have read the chat. It was a dedicated server error, so the servers itself crashed. There was no fault of any one side. However, Vicinal had already met the win con prior to the crash, meaning they will take set 1. So set 1 goes to Team Vicinal, and we are here for set 2. Yet again, as you guys can see, we are now phasing back over to the Shack side of the map here. I actually want to check 1, see no progress, but we do see some scratch marks coming in. Shack, a little bit of progress here, but nothing really to worry about too much here. This is actually a really strong hook location here for Vamp, as Vamp is going to be able to protect this very vehemently, as well as has a very good gen spread. Lavish actually playing this filler palette here as well, and is now actually going to take a tag here. Very unfortunate thing for Lavish here, but Last Fear getting unhooked here, and reset unfortunately cannot come through, but the first generator probably will pop in place of that reset as we're continuing chase now over into Shaq here. Last Fear is actually going to be able to make it. It's probably just going to immediately drop it. Yeah, just immediately dropping it, trying to buy as much time for his team as much as possible here, as we're now continuing chase over at 10 here. We want to get his attention, it looks like. Are we seeing maybe some sort of sneaky little play from Last Fur here? No perks to speak of. That could probably indicate some sort of sneaky thing. Decisive Strike here, I don't know if it's allowed against the Spirit. So, no, we do actually see a Decisive Strike here onto Lavish. So, that is in play here, as we're now picking up Last Fur here. That is the second hook stage coming through. Eruption applied, and that will mean that we actually see the aura of Cohen now rotating away, wants to get to a bit of a safer spot here, but we do know exactly where he went to with that aura reading. Very good stuff here from Vamp, as we're now heading over to the car loop here. Not really gonna... I don't believe we're actually going to find... No, we are actually going to find Cohen. Amazing stuff here from Vamp. Very good wherewithal, but it doesn't look like we actually want to continue chase for that, as we want to protect this hook here. This is a very strong hook spot. Look at this gen spread. I mean, it's something that I feel like a lot of Spirit players can only dream of. Kicking this, now applying Dragon's Grip and Eruption to it. Dragon's Grip, very strong perk here on the Spirit, as we are able to get back to our hook location, as well as bounce between generator and generator progress very quickly. Dragon's Grip they're going to apply, and you know, we probably wanted to apply it on purpose there if we didn't know it was active, just so that we could get the unhook for free, but unfortunately Shoal going to get found out there, and we're not going to be able to get the unhook for free at all. Last Fur probably is just going to die, as Last Fur will DC. Very unfortunate here, as we're seeing a stun onto Cohen here, and Shoal is also DCing. We're actually seeing everyone DC here. We might be seeing a bit of a technical difficulty here, so when we come back, I will address this and make sure that nothing is happening. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Entities Campfire. Bit of housekeeping to do here. The Tomy skin released in the Junji Ito set is unfortunately either bugged or actually does give, I believe it's bugged, but it does give a competitive advantage here for the killer side. A bit of an audio thing that's going on with that specific skin. So that will mean that Vicinal will be taking a -2 penalty for the Spirit set, and the match will be replayed. So we are back here on the Wrecker's Yard to see this replay and see if maybe because of the change of this skin, if Team Loyalty can perform a little bit better. As we're seeing a tag onto Lavish here on the one side of the map here. Now has to play this filler palette, but will actually just run straight away over to the 3 side of the map here. Just immediately going down is Lavish. Very, very unfortunate stuff here. An immediate pickup as well. Very, very strong start here for Vamp, immediately catching the Survivor off guard here and taking him into basement as well. If we make this basement hook, that's going to be very, very unfortunate for Team Loyalty, as a basement hook against the Spirit is not it's not something that you want to see. She can protect the shack on the Wrecker's Yard very, very, very well. And we are seeing the 9 generator being progressed very, very slowly but surely. Dragon's Grip applied to it as well as Eruption. So this is still a very, very strong start for Vamp, even given the penalty. We are seeing scratch marks heading over towards the 9 side of the map here, as we probably do fear that Tommy's wanting, or not Tommy, I apologize, the Spirit is wanting to take chase here. Unfortunate 50-50 loss here coming in from last first. He's now going to take a tag here, and Vamp is just going to want to head straight back to the basement. And very unfortunate that for Vamp, that Vamp is quite far away as well, but Vamp can get back there very, very quickly, so we might be seeing another early down here. However, Lavish is going to be able to make it somewhere kind of safe, and a reset was happening over by 3 here. Lavish now going to be able to make this tile, now has to listen out. Very unfortunate stuff for Lavish. Not able to play with the killer's audio very, very well here. Spirit being a very, very audio dependent killer, you know, can cause some problems for survivors as well. But yeah, that is another down and Eruption applied. Going back to the hook here now, we could be seeing a decisive strike play coming in here. I believe that, yes, so Lavish is the one with Decisive Strike, so we will be seeing Decisive Strike coming through here as we want to head over to the car loop here. We now have to either play it or run away from it as much as we possibly can. Dropping it instantly, vaulting over as well. Maybe we can play with the killer's audio here, but unfortunately we will not be making anything. No, very unfortunate here. We wanted to try to run through it, maybe force a short swing, but it just will not happen as Lavish is now going to be just going on a hook again. 3 generators remaining. Very, very still good start for Vampires. We are now taking Lavish back into the basement. Very, very good stuff here from Vamp, getting another hook in the basement here. Second stage here coming in from Lavish, but 3 generators remaining. Very, very strong start here for Vamp as we are now heading over to the bus. We want to try to protect these generators as much as we possibly can. We did see crows there, but I do not believe that indicates the presence of a survivor in this particular instance. We are seeing that Cohen is by the bus here, but Vamp will not find him. Very unfortunate for Vamp. No free tag. 2 generators in progression here as we're heading back over to Shack. No presence of a survivor just as yet. However, we can pressure these generators a little bit. 1 not progressed at all, so we fear maybe 3 and 5 here might be being progressed a little bit, so we want to go check those out. And we are actually seeing Last Fear here, but it doesn't look like Vamp actually cares to protect him a little bit, as we are seeing Shoal coming in for the rescue. Beautiful body blocks coming in from Vamp here. Not able to get around the Spirit, and this is one of the reasons why Spirit is able to protect Shack so well. Most killers on the Wrecker's Yard are able to protect Shack so well. Body blocking like this is very, very, very important. Getting a free tag as well. This will be a trade slug, but it doesn't look like we're actually taking it. We want to body block Lavish as well as we possibly can. Waiting out the 10-second BT timer. Taking the tag onto Lavish, and it looks like Lavish might just make it out with the drop of the Shack. Very unfortunate. Lavish now going to be able to take chase yet again. Might be living to see just a little bit longer. Heading over to the 9 side of the map here. A generator pops in the distance. We're going to be seeing another one pop just now. Dead hard coming in from Lavish. Amazing stuff here. This final chase needs to count. A slug in the basement as well. If it doesn't last long, it's going to be very, very devastating here for Team Loyalty, but Lavish showing that he is not down or out of the count yet, as we are now probably just accepting our death. This 110 killer heading over to the corner of the map here, and we are just going to be facing the wall and accepting our death with dignity as another generator pops in the distance. Very good stuff here from Vamp. Very good stuff from Lavish, making that last chase last as long as possible. Spirit, one of those killers that you don't expect chases to last so long here. Is a reset in the basement's actually going to come through. Is it a reset in the basement? It is a reset in the basement, so very, very good stuff here. Vamp doesn't seem to have caught on to that, however. And we want to be very, very careful here as well, as we are actually seeing Shoal leaving the basement, but will take a tag, very, very unfortunately. Not make any sort of pallet, but will be running over to the bus here. Something that you can place somewhat effectively. Flashbang coming through as well as the generator break, as Cohen now going to be taking a tag. Shoal on the 9 side of the map here, dropping a pallet, wanting to, or not dropping a pallet, but actually, yeah, dropping a pallet on the corner of the map here, making a loud notification. Looks like we want to just play into be as safe as possible. And this is not the most protectable 3-gen here for Vamp. This restart plus the -2 penalty could have cost Vicinal a lot here. It's going to be very, very difficult for Vamp to actually protect this, considering everything. We are actually seeing a second win play coming in from Shoal. Lastfur wants to be very, very careful not getting caught out too early here by Vamp, and it will not happen very, very nicely for Lastfur here. Cohen now going to be fully reset, as the entire team is now fully reset here. Very, very unfortunate stuff for Vamp here, as protecting this 3-gen and working through survivors that are no longer injured is going to be very, very tough. Protecting as much as we possibly can here. We will see the full reset of Cohen here coming in very, very soon here. Survivors want to play a little bit safe here just before we actually work generators, but Cohen now actually 99ing his heal with the medkit. Now this could be a purposeful play to maybe draw the spirit out of hiding, and maybe just heal in her face to make the chase last a little bit longer here, as Lastfur continues to progress the generators. Heading over to the 7 side of the map here, we actually do see a survivor rotating away. I believe that is Cohen. Cohen now, no, that's not Cohen. Actually, I just realized Cohen was affected by Sloppy Butcher there, so the heal did not come through, as we were missing a skill check. Very unfortunate stuff here. Going over to the 9 side of the map, not able to see anyone just yet, phasing away. Maybe if we can find this reset, that'll be perfect here for Vamp, but I do not believe we're able to find it before Cohen gets fully reset. No, very unfortunate stuff, but we do find where the location is, so we know where both survivors are. Lastfur, however, continuing to progress these generators, and a tag onto Cohen coming through as well. Dragon's Grip applied to the bus, and we want to head over. No, we're actually going to continue chase onto Cohen here. Eruption applied, so if we can get that eruption to go off here, that would be amazing stuff here, as Cohen is just unfortunately going to go down. Eruption applied as well to the bus, and it might be a thing where we want to slug here. Not much progress on the bus, very unfortunately. Dragon's Grip also applied to Lastfur here, so this down will come very, very quickly if it's played correctly by Vamp here, if we can find the rotation of Lastfur. Phasing away now. Lastfur is basically playing injured without blood, considering that exposed status effect coming in from the Dragon's Grip here. Not seeing him, however, but we do actually find him down onto Lastfur. And we're slugging immediately again. Want to find Shoal and Cohen. We want to keep this pressure going. Don't want to hook anyone just yet, because doing so will decrease our pressure slightly. A drop of the pallet from Shoal here, maybe making this pallet a little bit easier to play around. Vaulting through, and it's unfortunately not going to make that. Very, very nice stuff from Shoal, as we no longer maybe want to play into Shoal here, and we want to just leave, go back to Lastfur, and maybe accept our hook, or maybe even find a rotation from Cohen, trying to pick up Lastfur. So very, very nice stuff here from Vamp, but I do not believe we will be seeing Cohen around here. No, we will not. Cohen instead just stealthing, wants to get back on the generator as Shoal, and as Cohen is going to be continuing injured on the 5 side of the map, picking up over by the bus here. No pain resonance on the spirit, so we'll just be leaving and going back over to the 1 side of the map to try to progress, or to get pressure on that generator. We're going to be seeing a rotation for Cohen over towards the 7 side bus to unhook Lastfur, and when that happens, we might also see them trying to reset here, but the pressure that that Vamp has right now is very, very good. As we're hearing the rotation of the Spirit, applying Dragon's Grip and Eruption, walking away, trying to break some LOS here. We might have seen Shoal. We don't believe we did. No, we didn't. Very, very nice stuff here from Shoal. Good stealthing as we want to head back over to the unhook here. Cohen now going to get the unhook onto Last Fur. Last Fur and Cohen need to be very, very careful. Both of them injured. An Eruption is applied to that one generator, so if that actually comes through, then that means that it's going to be a lot more difficult for Shoal to actually pop that, as we're now seeing Chase over at the bus here, vaulting through the window, maybe? Yes, we are vaulting through the window. Cohen's just going to go down, Eruption applied, and we're going to be picking up Cohen, getting our next hook here. And Shoal continuing to progress this generator. You have to imagine at some point, this generator is going to run out of kicks on it. And if you're Vamp, yeah, I was going to say, you might be wanting to look for Last Fur here, prevent the unhook from happening, and make things for Shoal a lot harder. Rotating now back over to 1. We need to progress. We need to control this generator, and Shoal is still on it. Now rotating away, will be taking a tag here, but not before Last Fur is able to get the pull onto Cohen. Cohen now gonna be unhooked here, but is death hooked, so need to be very, very careful. No, it's not Cohen that's death hook. It's they're all one hook stage except for Shoal. Shoal has not been hooked here, so second win going to be coming through here. Cohen and Last Fur are going to be able to get resets out, and the full reset of Shoal will be very, very devastating here for Vamp as well, considering the amount of pressure that he would have had just isn't there. Cohen now taking a tag though. Great stuff coming in from Vamp, getting that tag. Shoal now going to be reset thanks to second wind here. Want to try to play this pallet as best as we possibly can, listening out for Spirit's audio, but we are just going to unfortunately be dying. Perhaps on the pallet, we might be seeing Last Fur here coming in for the pallet save. And we are actually seeing Last Fur coming in for the pallet save, and it will be a pallet save with no injury coming in on Last Fur as well. Amazing stuff here from Team Loyalty. Continuing to progress this generator is Shoal, but it's just not a lot of progress. Unfortunately, Eruption just doing work after work on this generator. But you have to remember, it's going to run out of regression events eventually. The entity is going to take hold and say, no, you can't regress this anymore. And it's going to make things a lot harder for Vamp. So Vamp needs to get something going here. We might actually see Vamp commit to this chase here as we're now kicking this one generator yet again. I have lost count of how many regression events that possibly has. It probably even has 6 at this point. So any more eruptions applied will probably mean the death of regressing that generator, as Cohen and Last Fur are going to be able to get the full reset. Very exciting stuff here. This 3-gen is hardly, it's not even a 3-gen, but like Vamp is protecting it as well as any other. A blind coming through with the flashlight to... Oh, very nice stuff from Last Fur with that blind, making Vamp have to look away and losing audio for a little bit, prolonging this tag for a little bit longer, but delaying, oh my god, my words, only delaying the inevitable. As Vamp now wants to head back over to the bus, but you have to remember, the one generator is still slowly but surely being progressed. It has a little bit of progress, but not too much, and it has been applied with Eruption, so we need it down very, very quickly, as all survivors are now injured. Yet again, pressure reapplied. And that is a down with Eruption as well. You have to imagine, though, the regression events on this generator are next to none, as Unbreakable is still active on Cohen. This is some really good stuff here. If Cohen is able to apply or activate this Unbreakable, then that will put Loyalty back into a dominant position, but they need to be very, very careful here, as Cohen does not actually want to use it. Yeah, he wants to save it, as you have to imagine Shoal is coming in for the pickup onto Cohen, but Cohen, no, just has to unfortunately use it. Very, very unfortunate stuff, as we're going to be seeing now both of them working their generators. A hook coming in closer to the one side of the map here, dying very, very in the corner is Last Fur. And so Vamp now getting the hook and heading back over to the one generator, most likely. Yeah, wants to protect that. It has a lot of progress on it. 7 also being progressed slowly but surely, and now Shoal has to rotate away, and it's going to cause Cohen to want to now go for the unhook here. Very, very good stuff from Team Loyalty, just playing back and forth ping pong here with the Spirit. Now we've hit a bit of a lull point. Survivors need to be very, very careful as Shoal has actually rotated over to the 7 bus here, but we see the presence of a Survivor here. This could be some devastating stuff for Team Loyalty as it is pretty damn close to where the unhook is happening as well. Shoal now needs to be very, very careful. However, I don't know if Shoal is going to be able to rotate all the way around as we do finally see Shoal. With the presence of seeing Shoal here, I don't believe there's much that can be done. This is a 4K with 1 generator remaining. Amazing stuff here from Team Loyalty to try to prolong it as much as possible, but Team Vicinal just getting that 4K anyway. But you have to remember, this penalty is still a thing to keep in mind, and Cohen being on the ground here, you might see a bleed out play coming in too, as we're seeing a vault through the window and Shoal being grabbed by the neck. Hook onto Shoal here. It all comes down to Cohen not being found. If Cohen's found here, then that will just be 4K1 with a -2 penalty, which I believe is equivalent of a 3K11. Maybe a little bit more or a little bit less. It might be the equivalent of a 4K, actually, with 0 generators. And we're not able to find Cohen here. If Cohen bleeds out, that's even more loss of points here for Team Loyalty, but unfortunately for Team Vicinal. Loyalty will be, or Cohen will be found by Vamp. And I say unfortunately for Team Vicinal, it's more unfortunate for Team Loyalty, because Team Loyalty are the ones on the survivor side, and Team Vicinal are the ones on the killer side right now. But when we come back, we will have Team Vicinal on the survivor side, playing against Team Loyalty's killer. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back yet again to the Entities Camp Fair for set number 2, game number 2 of set number 2. To be specific here, Last Fear for Team Loyalty on the Spirit against GreZero, Vamp, Slasher, and Bronzy. Same roster as last time here. The win condition due to the penalty last time for Team Loyalty is a 4K with 1 generator remaining. A tie condition is 4K 0. So that means Team Vicinal got the equivalent of a 4K with 0 generators remaining. And Last Fear here just scouting a bit, trying to maybe find the rotation of a survivor. And we are seeing scratch marks here, running a little bit away. As we do actually see 2 survivors here. We see GreZero and Vamp. Looks like we actually want to might commit for GreZero here. No, instead we're actually going to swap to Vamp here. And we are actually going to find him. Beautiful, beautiful stuff from Vamp to mess with the audio of the Spirit here. Getting that kick as well. Dragon's Grip applied, and so is Eruption. I think it's the same build as last time. So this is probably the strongest kind of build that you can apply to the Spirit here. As we are seeing now the Shack being worked by Bronzy. Beautiful stuff from Bronzy to preempt the Spirit. They're vaulting that window. Not going to take a tag just yet. Last, we're kind of struggling for a tag here a little bit. This 12 generator now being progressed here, and it is still being progressed by GreZero. Amazing stuff from Last Fur to fake out GreZero there, and GreZero will just be taking a tag. The question from Last Fur is, do you actually want to commit to this? And I believe he says yes. We're now going to be playing this corner pallet here. Has to try to maybe go for a phase mine game. No, not going to try it. Just going to run around it. Maybe we win a 50, we win 150, and now GreZero just wants to hold W away, phasing towards the corner of the map now. As the audio was messed with a little bit, but Last Fear caught onto it, and GreZero will just be going down Eruption, applied to the kick generators as well. You have a little bit of a 3-gen down here. So, Last Fear's probably going to want to hook here. Yeah, Last Fear's going to hook towards this 3-gen, it looks like, and now wants to head back over towards the erupted generator to maybe apply a little bit of pressure. Oh, maybe you don't have a 3-gen down there, actually. I don't think you do. You don't. Damn. Okay, well, you have the Shack, so it's like a 2.5 gen more than anything. But you know, this 12 generator still being progressed, so we have to be very, very careful. Phasing towards it now, has a little bit of progress as well. Unfortunately, not a generator has popped yet, so we're not going to be seeing any sort of good progress from Team Vicinal just yet. As now Last Fur wants to head back to hook. We might suspect there's an unhook here, and he is suspecting correctly, as GreZero now going to get unhooked by Vamp here. However, we want to commit for GreZero, as we want to also try to get to Shack here, but unfortunately we're just not going to make it, so we have no choice but to play this filler pallet here. Trying to play this filler pallet, but instead GreZero now just wants to be able to get over to the 3-gen here. Not going to quite make it, dying on the pallet. Looks like the call was made last second. You could see there was a bit of hesitation there. And no pallet save is going to be here to be had as well. So we're now hooking inside of the 3 tile here. But again, this hook is a little bit farther away from where your 3 generator was, you know, Shack 4 and 5. So it's a little bit of a farther hook, but a little bit of a deeper hook as well, to make sure that GreZero might not be able to make anything once he actually gets unhooked here. And we're heading back over to the 7 tile here. No progress to speak on it. However, 12, as we know, is being progressed here. That generator over by, I believe, 9 will pop. Yeah, 9 will pop. And a lot of progress over at 12 as well, as the Spirit is here. Slasher now going to have to be very, very careful, as he does hear the kick of the generator. And now we'll be heading back over towards it to try to get back on it. But Dragon's Grip is applied to it, so we have to be careful, as we're now faking out. Coming back, as we actually do see Bronzy. Bronzy very wise to not actually get back on that generator, as Dragon's Grip would have been very devastating there. As we're now heading back towards the hook, kicking the pallet there. And Last Fur is a bit too far away to actually commit for that Dragon's Grip application there, as we now need to make sure that GreZero dies on hook. If GreZero dies on hook here, that would be very, very devastating for Team Vicinal. This is also their set, so very unfortunate stuff here. Generator progression still being had. 12 with a lot of progress, 7 with a lot of progress, and actually Slasher will come through with the save here, but unfortunately it will be a bit of a trade on hook here. GreZero just unfortunately not going to make anything. Very unfortunate. Last Fur playing into the distance that he has from phase very, very well there. And is unfortunately just going to hook back over into 3 here. And also has a slug at the 3 tile. So this is some very, very good stuff here for Last Fur. 2 generators will pop for it. But remember, our win condition is 4K1. Amazing stuff from Last Fur. Vamp and Bronzy now going to have to be very, very careful here. Bronzy might actually Progress Shack. Yeah, looks like Bronzy. No, Bronzy's going into the basement. This is actually quite interesting. I'm not sure what the play is here, but it could be that we're trying to stealth out the Spirit's rotation here. And going into the basement isn't the worst play at all, because it's kind of like the last place that killers tend to look. As now we're progressing another generator on the other side of the map here. Bronzy has to be very, very patient with this unhook here, as we are seeing the Spirit near Shack, and Bronzy going to be very, very careful. We are seeing the progression of this generator, so last we're going to kick in, apply Eruption and Dragon's Grip to it. Now rotating all the way back over to the hook here. Wants to make sure no unhook is going to happen, and unfortunately it doesn't look like Bronzy is going to be able to get this unhook for free, as we're now running away here. Very unfortunate stuff. We do not want to give a free tag though, so it is kind of sad. And now Vamp will be rotating for the unhook himself. Bounce landing, activating to get himself there a little bit quicker, as Bronzy's now going to be continuing chase, taking a tag. Very unfortunately heading over to the 10 pallet as well, as we actually have quite a decent setup here, but the Spirit again can end chases very, very quickly, so a phase coming through to maybe prevent. Ooh, very good stuff from Bronzy, manipulating the Spirit's audio a little bit there, but unfortunately, no, actually does have a pallet. No, doesn't have a pallet here. Thought I saw a pallet here, but no, does not actually have a pallet here, but does have this corner pallet here, which could be very, very strong later on. Eruption applying to that 7 generator. And we are now going to be hooking near it. We're going to be hooking over by the 8 hook. Now, this is actually a very good hook for Lasser, because he can protect Shack, he can protect 7, he can protect 10. He has the generators on the other side of the map as well. There is no 10 generator either, by the way. So we're seeing 4 and 6, it looks like. Yeah, 4 and 5. So this is a very, very good gen spread here for Lasser. He has almost a 4 gen. We can kind of afford to kind of rotate around this and camp it a little bit, because we don't really see any other survivors rotation, and not seeing that is very, very big. Bronzy will actually get unhooked here, as we were looking for a bit of a stealth, but we don't really mind that too much, just because we can actually protect these generators very vehemently. Phasing away now, we are going to go back to hook here and maybe see if we can catch a reset. And reset will not be happening on hook here, but we actually do see Slasher. Slasher will unfortunately not be making that pallet, but does get the stun, so slowing down the Spirit just a little bit here. Unfortunately, will not be making anything else. Has to play this 9 filler pallet. Vamp diligently working another generator in the distance, but unfortunately for Slasher, it's just going to go down. Very nice stuff from Last Further, hearing the audio of Slasher very well. And Vamp will be getting this generator done, but the hook will happen as well. Getting it very near the generator, too. Very nice stuff from Last Fur, getting this hook where he needs to get it. Now heading over to the generator. But it will be done in the Last Fur's face. Very unfortunate stuff here. Vamp bringing it to a 4K. 1 needs to try to bring it to a 4K 0 if they want to meet this tie condition. This might be an unhook. No, Bronzy is here, or was here for an unhook. Has to go over to 6 now. Has to try to take it as far away as possible, and that's exactly what he's doing. We'll actually make this pallet. Very, very nice stuff from Bronzy. And I've lost where Bronzy went, actually, but the unhook will be happening here. So we are seeing Vamp probably going down here. A semi-trade. Not a full trade, but a semi-trade. No, actually, we will make the window. Very, very nice stuff here from Vamp to actually make that window. Dropping the pallet and vaulting through it as well. Very, very good stuff here. Last Fur kind of falling for that 50-50 mind game. Now it has to go back over to the 5 side of the map here. This is where the generator split is not, so taking that away from there is going to be huge. As Last Fur realizes what Vamp is doing, now heading over to the 7 tile and has a little bit of progress, but not a lot. Slasher and Bronzy probably resetting. Yeah, Slasher and Bronzy resetting, so they're going to be playing a little bit safer. A med kit coming through from Vamp as well, so we might be seeing a full reset of all survivors. They're kind of the same situation as last time with Team Loyalty. Considering everything, considering how quick that tunnel out was at the beginning, and how unfortunate Greaser's chases were, you know, we've made quite a bit, as Vamp was probably very, very close to finishing his reset, but just wasn't able to make it, very unfortunately. Faking the phase, it looks like, to see what Vamp would do, but Vamp was not falling for it at all, as we are getting the pallets done. Very, very nice stuff from Vamp. Vamp now running away, phasing towards the 3 side of the map. as we will find Vamp and get the down. Eruption not applied to anything. Bronzy now working a generator that has been regressed quite a fair amount. The Entity's Claws have taken hold here. Slasher is now playing for a very early unhook here. Does not want to get seen though. No, Slasher's actually not going to get seen at all because Vamp wants to hook as close as possible to this gen spread. Bronzy now going to be stealthing away. Just be careful here though, as Slasher has stealthed this very, very effectively. Unhook can happen at any moment, and it will actually happen very, very soon here. No, it doesn't look like it's going to happen just yet. No, it is going to happen, so we are going to be seeing second wind come through here. It looks like very, very nice stuff here from Vamp. If Vamp is able to do this, unfortunate stuff here that Slasher is able to not get it there. And we've manipulated the Spirit's audio so much. They're very nice stuff there from Slasher. And that's going to put a big damper in last for his plans, especially considering Bronzy is still working these generators. You might be even seeing it. Yeah, we're seeing a doubling out of the Shack generator. Slasher wants to take chase as well, taking it over to this filler generator. Walking over to it. Very nice manipulation of Champion of the Light there, but unfortunately, it is going to result in a tag. It could have worked out very, very well if Slasher dropped it on the correct side there, but unfortunately it just didn't work out there, as we're seeing a rotation towards Shaq here. Other survivors are now going to rotate off of it. It has a lot of decent progress on it, so the team Vicinal has shown that they are not down or out of the count just yet. Last for playing for everything here. Has to make sure they do not pop this generator, because if they don't, they will take the set. And if it's a tie con, we'll be going to, well, we're going to the tie. We'll be going to the tie set anyway. If whether Loyalty wins this or ties it, but if Team Vicinal is able to pop this and get one person out the door, that means Team Vicinal wins the game. Phasing over at 1 here. Maybe we want to fake out what's happening here. And very good audio manipulation of the Spirit's phasing here. We're not going to be able to make that window, so Bronzy is going to be able to vault that for free. Not going to be able to make anything. No, just going to be able to make the pallet swing through it, but unfortunately a pallet stun will be coming through here, as it looks like another generator in the distance being progressed. Slasher wants to play it very, very slow here. Doesn't want to get found, as we're seeing a phase over at the 7 side of the map here. Not seeing any survivor, as now there is Vamp having to be very, very careful. Doesn't really have much to play around with. Walking to try... Yeah, we're trying to be patient here. And Vamp not falling for it, but is unfortunately going to walk into the Spirit's arms. They're very, very sad stuff there for Vamp, as we're seeing a doubling out of the Shack generator. Now, the question is, does Loyalty... No, I was going to say... It doesn't look like Glassfer wants to commit to the chase with Vamp, and that's probably a very smart play, considering the Shack generator is slowly but surely being done. And we actually do see Bronzy here. Bronzy not going to make anything, so he's unfortunately just going to be taking a tag. Vamp now back on the generator with Dragon's Grip. And the middle Shack generator now being progressed as well, as we will be phasing towards the Shack generator. Slasher doing a very, very good job. Very nice stuff here, but Vamp will unfortunately be taking it down. Eruption applied to the Shack generator. A doubling out of the Shack generator. That is, we are now picking up Vamp. Now, here's the thing. Do you actually commit for this doubling? This hook is very, very close. I don't know if Team Vicinal is going to make this or not. It looks like they agree that it's not, but a dropping of the Shack pallet will mean that the generator might just get done here. And Bronzy, unfortunately, taking it down. And a kicking of the generator too! Loyalty will take the Spirit set. Very, very impressive stuff here from Team Vicinal to try to get that Shack generator done, but unfortunately, it just was not enough. And Slasher doing a very good job at stealthing out the Spirit here. Not getting found just yet, but it looks like we have finally been found here. Slasher's days are numbered here. Not able to trick the Spirit there, very unfortunately, and it looks like this set will be going to Team Loyalty. The death of Slasher, the death of Vamp, and the hooking of Bronzy will indicate this. And there it is. When we come back, we will have the final, the tiebreaker set. It will be the Artist on the Azerov's resting place. Stay tuned for that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Azarov's resting place, and welcome to potentially, actually probably what is going to be the final set of today's matches. We are here with the Artist and with Team Loyalty's Artist at that last fear versus Greasero, Slasher, Bronzy, and Vamp yet again. And we're doing some typical Artist Azarov resting place stuff here, watching for any sort of cross while this Corrupt Intervention is activated. And this is very typical stuff here, because being able to have the survivors on one side of the map and not be able to do much else is going to mean that they are not doing anything for 120 seconds. So it's very possible that Team Vicinal is waiting to stealth out Corrupt here, and that vaulting of the Shack will mean that the rest of Team Vicinal will be able to cross here, and chase will commence onto Greasero on the Shack. Here, Shack now being dropped immediately. We are taking no chances here against Lastfur's Artist. And now it looks like Lastfur wants to continue chase onto Vamp here. Vamp actually being spotted on his rotation and will unfortunately be seen heading towards top. And these are all the generators. I mean, this is a 4-gen at the top of the map here. And you don't really have any other generators active at the bottom side. So this chase being in this location is going to be very, very unfortunate for Team Vicinal. As there's nothing really to work on the bottom side of the map here. So it will be to Vamp's benefit maybe to re-rotate. However, Corrupt Intervention about to run out here. No, it looks like Vamp is actually just rotating back towards the bottom side of the map here. So very, very nice stuff here from Team Vicinal and from Vamp, as now we see Bronzy working a generator on the bottom side. We now want to commit to chase to that, dropping all of our birds, trying to maybe get a hit with them, swinging through the pallet, as we are not, unfortunately, going to see any sort of tag here, and that means Bronzy is going to be able to make the middle generator. It is a seawall, or the middle loop here, it is a seawall, so not going to be seeing any sort of mischief happening there. Putting a bird over by the window to maybe try to outplay Bronzy, but it's just not going to work out. As Slasher now takes a tag with the birds. Now, Corrupt Intervention is over, so we are going to be seeing the generators on the other side of the map now being worked here. So very, very nice stuff from Vicinal to not only not get it down before Corrupt Intervention's over, but to also just have decent enough chases and rotations. We are seeing, I believe, Slasher now taking chase over at the 2 side of the map here, dropping a bird to try to maybe outplay him a little bit. What just happened there? Did we maybe like mind game the Artist and like walk behind him? Are we phantoms or whatever, like ghosts of some point? Because I did not even hear any sort of footsteps from Slasher, but Slasher is actually going to be taking a tag here. Bird now going to be dropped, as we are going to be seeing Slasher get tagged with birds here. Has to last as long as possible, making it to the 80 side of the map. 1 bird, 2 bird, 3 bird, 4 bird, 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish, and Slasher is going down here at the 8 side of the map. Now, the unfortunate thing here, Pain Resonance activated, so that is good, but the unfortunate thing here is that this is your 3-gen, not your 4-gen. However, this is probably a little bit, this is a little bit more protectable for Lastfur, but I don't know if that's even true either, as those generators are quite far away from each other, whereas the generators on the top side of the map are a little bit more compact. This is a very interesting ARP gen spread, by the way. I have never seen all the generators, you know, be this tucked away on one side of the map or the other. You know, normally you have 1 or 2 generators in the middle of the map, maybe just 1, and the rest of them are kind of like more tightly knit, but this one is just a full even spread bottom to top. So very, very interesting stuff here for Lastfur. A Slasher will be on this hook, and it doesn't look like Team Vicinal has any interest in getting the unhook either, because 2 generators will be popping for it as well. So very, very nice stuff here. And a bit of a different build. No Wed, Pain Resonance, Corrupt Intervention, and oh god, I've forgotten the name of this perk. Force Hesitation. Force Hesitation, that's what it is. Very, very strong perk here. Allows you to, when you get it down, the survivors around you get hindered a little bit. So very, very strong perk. Can actually mean that the survivors are not able to make anything for quite some time here. So very, very nice here, as we are seeing the birds now getting placed over to where the rest of the generators are. Popping all the generators on that side of the map is very, very vital here for our survivors here. And we're seeing the progression of Shack here, which is actually very interesting. I don't know if Lastfur is aware that Vamp is in the Shack. that could be very, very bad for Last Fur if he's not made aware of this very, very quickly. Slasher will be dying, but it will be at the cost of another generator popping if he doesn't check Shack very quickly. And Gree0 is distracting Last Fur very, very well from that Shack popping. Bronzy also on the other side of the map progressing another generator, so this will be 2 generators remaining after this death. Very, very nice stuff here. Gree0 probably wants to pull at the last minute here, but it looks like we might just be accepting Slasher's death. That generator popping will mean that Vamp is going to be able to come in to assist with a double save here. So very, very nice stuff. As we are seeing the unhook of Slasher. Amazing teamwork coming in from Team Vicinal for this double save here. Slasher going to be able to make it now to the bottom side of the map, but 1 bird is going to be sent. And unfortunately, he will be hit with it. Bronzy working a generator on this side of the map as well. So when that generator pops, if Slasher's still alive, Bronzy can assist a little bit. But Gree0 coming in to help out Slasher a little bit as well. So very, very nice stuff. Slasher actually is going to run through towards the 2 side of the map. Doesn't want to interrupt the bus by any means at all. Sprint burst is also a perk that we have to worry about here. Sending birds now on this side as well. We are now heading back over to the middle generator, and you might fear this. Oh, no, dying on the pallet. That might be the only thing you really can do. Is Gree0 is also dying right next to where Slasher is, and that will mean a pickup coming through. Is there a pallet save? Barely, I think not. Very unfortunate from Bronzy, as Gree0 will also get picked up. Vamp, however, on the other side of the map, working a generator. Very nice stuff here from Team Vicinal, and very nice stuff here from Team Loyalty as well. A death and another hook coming in. However, with Vamp working this generator, it means it's going to be very, very difficult for Last Fur here to defend this hook, stop Bronzy from unhooking, and defend that generator as well. So Vamp gonna comfortably almost work that generator. Amazing stuff here from Team Vicinal. You can see the team coordination. Notice how as birds are being sent, they are kind of getting off these generators, and that's very important here, because not being able to, or not getting information on where they are is going to be very crucial, and also just not getting slowed down by the birds is also very crucial. But we are seeing the re-rotation of Vamp here, which means Gree0 will be pulled, and the 8 generator will be kicked as well. So you might be seeing that our killer will be committing to chase onto Vamp here, but if he does, he's going to have to be very, very quick with the chase here, as the full reset onto Gree0 will be happening. Vamp gonna have to take a long chase. And it doesn't look like we have all that much to use here. I don't know if... No, I don't... We do actually make this pallet. No, we don't make this pallet. The lunge of the artist. Very, very long. I'm just kidding. They're not actually any longer than any other killer. But that will be a hook. Bronzy now continuing to work generator. Gree0 going to be rotating for an unhook here. So very, very nice here. Very good team coordination. Gree0 probably will successfully... Oh, that was very, very close there. Last Fur is not interested in rotating down there. Bronzy is just going to be able to work this generator a little bit for free here. But it might be that our killer player might want to rotate down very quickly. Bronzy now taking a tag with the birds. So we have a little bit of information on what generator on the top side of the map is being progressed. As we do see Gree0. Gree0 now going to come in for the unhook, but it's not going to be a trade, not even a tag here for Gree0, as Vamp is now going to be able to take a body block, and now we want to rotate for Gree0. Gree0 not going to make this pallet quite, but is going to be able to make the window at least, and now we are continuing chase on this 8 generator. Now going over to the 8 side of the map, we have a bit of a pallet here to play, and I believe this is a pretty strong loop here. Bronzy is going to be able to work that generator relatively freely, but unfortunately a down onto Vamp will mean another hook. And they're going to continue to work that generator, picking up Vamp. But I don't think that there's anything that can be done to stop this generator from popping, as I do believe this is a pain resonance. Oh god, this is a pain resonance. Very, very nice stuff here from Last Fur to delay the popping of this generator, as now Bronzy's going to rotate for the unhook, being the uninjured party. Gree0 going to work this generator. But eating that bird might have actually been the play, because now you don't know that Gree0 is on the generator. Gree0 going to be able to freely work that gen, and you don't know that he's there. The unhook will happen here. Not even a trade, it looks like, as Bronzy will be taking a tag. The generator will pop, and Vamp will get adrenaline as well. Beautiful stuff. Now we need to protect Bronzy at any cost, because Bronzy is our fresh hook survivor, and we do not want him going on the hook, as we are continuing chase over for Bronzy. Bronzy being our most valuable survivor here. Now Vamp is coming in to take a tag. Beautiful, beautiful stuff, and good team coordination from Team Vicinal. There's a tag going on with Noed activating as well. We do have to be mindful of that, so it might be the fact that Last Fur was playing into the Noed. All the exit gates are on this side of the map as well, so this is going to be very, very difficult stuff here for Team Vicinal. We might be seeing a 4K0 if we're not careful, as Bronzy now going to be taking chase over towards where the Noed actually is. And I don't know if we actually saw it, so we're actually going to be protecting that gate as much as possible, and now we're going to be protecting the slug as much as possible as well, making sure that Bronzy is preoccupied. And there's the pickup of Vamp immediately going back onto the ground, but that is the survivor that you kind of want on the ground, either him or Gree0 if you're Team Vicinal, breaking the bottom middle pallet, excuse me, and now taking chase to top. But Bronzy unfortunately was found, and now we're picking up Vamp and hooking him in a relatively good location for these exit gates. Very nice stuff from Team Loyalty. I didn't even realize Vamp was dead on hook, but that actually makes sense that he was. I forgot about that. Gree0 has rotated for this exit gate, but it looks like we're not going to be able to be on it here, check spotting to make sure the killer is not on our way. But he actually is on the way, and Gree0 going down on the ground. Bronzy might get found here. If Bronzy gets found, that's a 4K with 0 generators remaining, thanks to No One Escapes Death. Very, very strong perk here, and we are seeing Bronzy, and that means that this is a 4K with 0 generators remaining, assuming Bronzy doesn't go down here. Or does go down here. There's very little for Bronzy to be able to do here. All the birds being sent here, having to rotate over to the shack now, trying to take as best of a chase as we possibly can. We will make the shack window, but it doesn't look like... Yes, we will make the shack window, but unfortunately, kind of entering at the wrong angle, and that means Bronzy will be going down. This is a 4K with 0 generators confirmed. Beautiful stuff here from Lasser, playing into his No One Escapes Death very, very well. Probably expected all the generators to pop here, and correctly assuming so. Very, very nice stuff. And the picking up of Gree0 all but confirms the 4K with 0 generators remaining. And when we come back, we will have the final set of today's game, or the final game of today's games. And it will this time be Team Vicinal's killer killing Team Loyalty's survivors. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, I interrupt your regularly scheduled intermission and amazing music before we hit the last moment of the game to say that we will be off next week for Mother's Day. But there should be matches from some previous weeks that were offline that will be casted over, so do stay tuned for more of that. So don't worry, you will not be fully out of content for a full week, but that's just to let you all know there will be no streams next week. In terms of that. However, no longer to interrupt you all, let's get back to the music.
Mario, they can't hear you.
That's very unfortunate. So my audio was messed up for some time there. Unfortunately, not many people, or people just couldn't hear me apparently. So apologies for that. We are back here. My reactions were certainly a marvel. So I'm apologies that you could not hear my casting there. But we are seeing Cohen now taking chase at the back of the main building here. And that will not be a bird hit, unfortunately. But unfortunately, it looks like Cohen getting stuck on the main. Had we known that? Ooh, but it does look like we are getting a tag here. Beautiful stuff here from that 4K with 0 generators remaining is our tie condition. And if it is a tie, we will be replaying the artist set. But it looks like it's going to be very difficult for Loyalty to really beat that. Sending birds again, maybe scouting out for something, but we do actually hear the 8 generator was being progressed. They might have gotten scared that birds were being sent there and got off it prematurely, but didn't actually happen, but different kind of information came through. So that's very, very good for Vamp here. As we do see Ray, we knew Ray was here stealthing around it. Beautiful tag here for Vamp, but we're not interested in really committing for that kind of chase because what else can you really do if you're Loyalty survivors here? I mean, you can get this generator done, but remember, that does not meet the win condition. Now we're just scouting for a crosshair. This is honestly really the ideal situation for Vamp because you have Loyalty in a situation where you just keep them on this side of the map. They can't unhook Cohen. They can't work any generator besides this generator. Ray might be rotating down now for an unhook. And no, we actually see Ray. Beautiful, beautiful stuff here for Team Vicinal. Unfortunate stuff for Team Loyalty as now we have information on all 3 survivors who are getting a kick of this generator. Get it regressing a little bit. Cohen will be going second stage here. And Ray tried to rotate down, but just not going to quite work out here as Vamp is now going to send birds, making sure that we protect this generator at any cost. Ray stealthing out the killer here, making sure we're not getting found too easily. And we actually do rotate down. So very, very good stuff here from Shoal. Ray will now take over that generator over at the 8 side of the map here. And Shoal will now be rotating down for an unhook. But you have to remember that, yeah, no, if an unhook does happen here, it'll most likely than anything be a trade. So very, very unfortunate stuff here for Team Loyalty. That generator is still being worked, so we will get down to 1 generator remaining, but an unhook is able to happen as Ray, this entire time, has been going for it. Body block coming in from Cohen here. Amazing stuff here. And not even a down here as well, as we're wanting to commit for Shoal, it looks like, or for Cohen here. Cohen will be going down here and is on death hook, so this is 2-sided protocol. The other generator needs to pop if they want even a chance at popping, meeting this tie condition, but this truck generator is not the one, sadly, that you need to be working. But you can't really work the 8 generator. As now, 2 survivor protocol, this generator is still sparking. That indicates that there's probably no survivor on this side of the map here. We see birds coming in. We don't see anyone just yet here using birds for information, and we actually do get some information on a survivor. Shoal, to be exact, coming in through the main building is the killer, but this might have been too little too late for another tag to happen here. A swing and a hit. Very, very, very good hit there coming in from Vamp there with the tip of the weapon as well, sending birds a torment here. Flashbang coming through, making Vamp have to look up for a little bit. Might have lost LOS on Shoal very briefly, but now we're back in it. Ray going to be now working a generator on the other side of the map, but one that's very, very low progress here. We're not interested in committing for Shoal because he's going to a place where there really isn't anything to do. And now it's to find Ray. Loyalty is doing their absolute best to play in a very difficult situation. I mean, this is a very hard position to be in if you're Loyalty, just because how do you pop another generator with only two survivors remaining against the artist, a killer who is very good at crowd control. But we will be seeing a down onto Ray. If Shoal gets caught here, this will be a 4K with 2 generators remaining, as Shoal is currently working the 8 generator. Perhaps wants to just play for the best condition, win as possible, best win condition as possible. Will be getting off that generator, avoiding the Birds of Torment just briefly, and is back on it now too. As Vamp doesn't know where Shoal is. Now, we might suspect he's on the 8 generator, and when he looks over there and sees that it's not sparking anymore, he would be correct. And in fact, he sees the rotation. With this final chase, unless Shoal can pull some kind of miracle, this will be a 4K with 2 generators remaining, meaning Vicinal has taken the win. Dropping Shack Pallet here, and continuing chase onto Shoal. Now we're playing for style points, trying to play for as long as we possibly can. Vaulting through the pallet here. This is a decently strong bust. Not the strongest, but definitely not the weakest you could possibly get here. We were trying to hit him through the window. That would have been very interesting if he managed to hit that, but continuing chase onto Shoal, onto the corner side of the map. Going back to Shack here will make the window, but probably will get hit by some sort of Birds of Torment along the way. No, actually won't. Very, very nice stuff here from Shoal. Shoal now taking the distance that he might have here. Going back over to this corner pallet. What a final chase from Shoal. Playing it out as best as he possibly can. But what else can you do in this situation? Now probably going to eat the Birds of Torment very, very soon here. Has to play pallets here, but this is not really a... Thank God. Oh no. Shoal, unfortunately, vaulting through that pallet and will lose his 50-50. This is a 4K too. Assuming Ray doesn't get found here. If Ray doesn't get found here... I don't remember if Ray's the one that's been hooked. No, Ray is our fresh hook. Ray is our fresh hook, so that will be very interesting for the point system here. If Ray bleeds out but Shoal doesn't, I believe Team Vicinal still barely wins it, but like half a point or 1 point. But if both of them get hooked, then it will not matter. Ray now needs to hide and just die in silence in the corner somewhere. Sending birds to maybe get Killer Instinct on him. Where is Ray this entire time? Ray went all the way to Shack. Oh no. Ray might just bleed out here, and if he does, that's going to be very interesting stuff here for the point system. Shoal also bleeding out here. If Shoal bleeds out here, that's a win for Team Loyalty, I believe. Or at least if not a win, a tie. Birds of Torment coming through, but we're not going to find anything. We will find Shoal, and we're just going to be accepting the hook on him. Ray getting the death or dying on the ground here, I do not believe means that Team Loyalty wins. We still think he's over here somewhere, but little do we know he's in the shack. This is a 4K with 2 generators remaining, but a bleed out. I will go to intermission very briefly and confirm with my lovely referees if this means that Team Loyalty wins or if this is a replay. Stay tuned. And I have instant confirmation from my referees here. This means that Vicinal has actually taken the win by 1 point. Amazing, amazing stuff coming in from Team Vicinal. Congratulations to both teams here. And we hope to see you